All right. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for waiting. That was a little bit of a wait for today's stream here. How are we all doing today? Welcome. Welcome to another live stream, ladies and gents. We are live. Let's get a quick audio and visual check. Can you see everything okay? Can you hear everything okay? We're going to be breaking down a little bit of this Bitcoin price action right here in this live stream today. And I'm going to start by just reminding you guys how I like to do these streams, which is basically that you're going to be seeing the face cam on the bottom right, and on the right hand side of the screen you will also see Bitcoin on the 1 minute time frame. So we get that really nice fun degen cam along with a slightly more mature view of the markets here. So welcome in, everyone, to this live stream here. A little bit of a later start today, but we are live, and Bitcoin has basically kind of rallied from 107 support back up now to 113, 114k. So we were talking about this yesterday, we were expecting this yesterday, and now we're here, which is fantastic. So we got a little bit to get through today. If you are excited for this one like I am, if you guys are can you guys see everything okay? I'm getting like a weird error on my side. I might have to how's the connection for you guys? I can't even touch my settings right now because I'm live. Oh, that's annoying. Well, hopefully it's fine for you guys. Is the stream stable, ladies and gents? Are you getting buffering? Everything is good? Alright, well, if things start buffering a little bit too much, you guys let me know about that, please, okay? If you start seeing a little bit too much buffering, just let me know. I know how to fix it, but I'm going to have to stop going live. So, alright. Welcome into the stream, everyone. Smash up those likes as we are getting started here. Let's push these likes above 50. You already know the deal, ladies and gents. Welcome back in to everybody. He's getting his running machine set up. Yes, sir. Yes, I am. Longing coal? No, 𝐂𝐈. What's that? I can't even read that. The chat is so small. I need to make this bigger. Yeah, you did say 𝐂𝐈. What's 𝐂𝐈? Maybe 𝐶𝐳 decided to stop manipulating Bitcoin after the pardon. You think so? Is that how simple it is, bro? I don't know. Welcome in, everyone. What's up? Where you guys watching from today? We're live a little bit later than usual, but where in the world are you guys watching from today? Let me know in the live chat. Smash up those likes as you come in. Let's push this thing above 50, nice and easy. What are my targets above 117k? Yeah, let's start off with that. So, just as you guys are tuning in, just a quick reminder. Right-hand side, you've got the 1 minute time frame here. Left-hand side, you have Bitcoin on right now at the 4 hour. What's up? Who we got here? We got Serbia, we got Israel. What's going on, guys? What's going on? 114k, Toronto, New Zealand, New York, UK. What's up? We got 114k resistance right here. Really, I don't see real resistance in this range, but if you really do want to be nitpicky, then 100%. You can say that this level right here is going to be, our resistance, because we were getting a little bit of support here, but really we were getting a lot of resistance here since basically August. So, and that's definitely continued on in October, which is still not over. There are 4 or 5 days left in October. Not sure how many days October has. I think it has 31 days, doesn't it? So, well, we can find out here. Yes, it does. It does have 31 days. So, we got about 5 days left in October, and I mean, we're not looking too bad. In fact, I know I said I was going to look at the 117k targets, but before we get there, let's look at this thing on the monthly. Because I don't really do analysis on this time frame, I'll be honest. It's not really something I do. But I can do it. I think I'm not patient enough to analyze this time frame regularly. But I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I mean, we've seen the weekly a million times. The weekly does still look pretty okay to me. It looks like everyone's fucking massively overreacting, to be honest. But Bitcoin on the monthly, it's slowing down. I mean, I can see why people are saying it's lost momentum. My only issue with it, ladies and gents, is the people saying that we've lost momentum here are the same people saying that we were crashing here, like bear market, actually, like 50k, 40k. And they're the same people that probably sold some of their bags at least in this range. How many of you guys sold in any of those ranges? Let me know. And so, you know, with all of that in mind, there we go. This is a better place to keep my microphone. I should have thought of this a long time ago. All right. So how many of you guys have actually sold down in those levels? Let me know. And ladies and gents, if you're tuning in, do me a favor and smash up those likes. I want to switch over to the 1 minute time frame here very quickly. Let's get these likes above 50. Nice and easy. Only need 15 more. Smash them up. Bitcoin saw this pump, obviously, earlier. And since then, it's been pretty much sideways here for how long? 7 hours nearly. And since then, it's just continuously been getting resistance up at about 114, a little bit shy of 114 with a wick above. 113.8, really the same thing. And we've been finding support down at 113.4. So that's pretty cool, huh? You know, that's not too bad at all. We're just consolidating at resistance. You know, the last time that this happened, if I yeah, right here. The last time that this happened, Bitcoin didn't really spend much time above this yellow line, ladies and gents. I mean it. We could be looking at a breakout right here. And if we're going to get a breakout right here, we're headed to 117, right? That's quite clear. A lot of us understand that very well. And if we don't worry. I'll go over that again in just a minute here. But 113.4, pretty decent, you know, level here. But the last time the market got here, including these things that, you know, really shouldn't be included, the market only managed to sustain above this level for an hour. What's up, James? Welcome in. Do I need to take a piss? I'm bouncing around like crazy. Good drugs? I'm on a treadmill, brother. I'm on a walking treadmill. I'm trying to get rid of this fat, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to reach some nice physique here. I'm still 24. So I'm trying to do something about this. 1 hour here that we managed to spend above 113,400. We managed to spend 1 hour above this level on this occasion here. Now, if we zoom out, let's go on to the 5 minute. And let's look at the time prior to that as well. Which was right here. And here, this was the original dump. Okay, so this was like the kind of knock-on from the October 10 dump that we got. You know, that massive Bitcoin liquidation thing that everyone was talking about. Many of you were here for that, of course. And, you know, with this level, Bitcoin couldn't even get above it. Now, I really need to stress this, ladies and gents. I'm making a very, very important point. So please, pay close attention to this. This is really important. Bitcoin, after this October 10 dump here, I mean, this is kind of the knock-on, right? I mean, it was going on for some time. Bitcoin didn't manage to get above this level, 113.4. The next time we attacked this level, we got above it, but if we measure it, it only lasted about 1 hour. Now, fast forward to today, we have been doing something clearly much stronger. We've been above this level for 7 hours. And this is what we've been doing since then. I'm very happy with this, ladies and gents. We're consolidating in a range right now that we couldn't even really get into earlier this month. This is progress. Yes, this is progress. Not only is it progress, when you start doing things like this, where you're consistently finding resistance in the exact same level, but your lows are getting higher, you're going to start painting something very interesting, my friends. What are we going to start painting? Can anyone tell me in the live chat? You already know, don't you? Let me know. Let me know in the live chat. Say it first. I want to see how many of you get this. And as we are coming in here, ladies and gents, smash up those likes. Thanks for pushing us above 50. See if we can get this thing to 100. You already know. My treadmill is powering my PC. Imagine, bro. I'd never be able to get off this. Calisthenics and martial arts. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. So I'm working on calisthenics a lot more now. And martial arts, I haven't actually gotten into yet, but I would love to. I was gymming hardcore. What happened to that? Bro, I started traveling. You know, you meet a girl. You know how life goes. You know what I'm saying? It just kind of slips away a little bit sometimes. But I am actually the strongest I've ever been right now. So I'm pretty happy with that. I just need to get rid of the fat. It's going to start being crazy. But we start forming an ascending, yeah, we've already got it in the live chat. An ascending wedge, bull flag, close. Ascending triangle. That's what I'm going to call it. An ascending triangle. And this is very, very bullish. In fact, I'm happy to draw it down to here. I'm very happy to draw it down to here. And say that Bitcoin does this. Do you see what I'm getting at, ladies and gents? Smash them up as you are tuning in, ladies and gents. Welcome to the live stream. This is what I'm getting at. I can see that happening. I would prefer to get a breakout now. And I actually think there's a specific reason that Bitcoin is doing this. Ladies and gents, if you've been subscribed to the channel for just 2 days, it was only 2 days ago that I told you guys. The S&P 500 gapped higher on the Friday. And as a result of gapping higher, Bitcoin probably needs to play catch-up. Now, we had a very interesting comment in the live chat here toward the beginning of the stream of someone saying that you should never trust a Sunday pump. But actually, in recent times, in these markets, see, what it used to be, and this is why this is so important. This is what you want to be taking notes on or whatever. It doesn't really matter. But previously, the characteristic of Bitcoin on weekends was to go batshit crazy a little bit. You know? It would kind of get unhinged. It would do silly stuff and retrace it. But lately, the hold that traditional finance has held on Bitcoin over the last months, over the last weeks especially, has been so strong that Bitcoin actually just tries to find parity with the S&P 500 over the weekend. That means, let me give you another example of this. If the S&P is kind of trading sideways and then it gaps up on the Friday, which is exactly what happened. The chart looked a little bit like this. Maybe a little bit more like this, right? And then we gapped up like that. This was what happened on Friday, 2 days ago. Bitcoin is just going to try and fill in this gap during the weekend. That's what I said 2 days ago. And that's what we're getting right now. So, shout out to those of you that are subscribed to the channel. Because that's pretty cool. We're seeing more proof of this new developing characteristic. Now, our game as a trader is to spot these things early. Okay, while everybody else is saying never trust a Sunday pump, you want to be on the other side of this, where you're spotting these things shifting. See, a lot of people, how this actually works, and you're going to understand that this is you as well in many situations, they will learn something that gives them this, like, meta, like, confidence that they're on the right side of things in the markets. And in this case, it was never trust the Sunday pump, right? Because, you know, if you don't learn that lesson, you'll go, what's up, Daveen? Welcome to the live stream. If you don't learn that lesson, you're going to be essentially, you know, continuously losing your money on Saturday, Sunday pumps, right? Believing that they're real. And I don't know if this one's real, by the way. The S&P 500 could totally just retrace all of its gains on Monday, right? I mean, it is Trump as president, and that's actually what's been going on this entire year. So I wouldn't rule it out. Treadmill cam, degen cam, and a possible breakout. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. We are back in, ladies and gents. Smash them up. Let's get these likes above 100. You know, so it's actually about spotting that change in the meta. Because a lot of these people, they'll work it out when they've been thrashed by this thing like 6 times. It's probably because they're not keeping a trading journal. Otherwise, they would have figured that out a lot sooner. And then, when they finally caught on, it'll shift. The meta will change. It'll change to something else. Literally, all we have to do as traders is we've got to get the basics right. Got to get the basics right. Have a good system, have good risk management, all that easy stuff. Got to get the basics right, and then just keep track of these meta kind of things that you should know. These things that are like 4D chess in the game of trading. Just keep track of them as they change. And to keep track of them, you need to be paying attention. You need to be subscribed to a channel like this. And even better still, if you want to get a real look at things for real, if you want to be able to discuss these markets with me right here, check out enter.brofi.com with that link in the live stream description. Live stream description. That group has just launched, pre-launch. You're getting in at the lowest prices ever. The prices will be going up. And you will have a price lock. So for 1 full year, you will not have to pay a higher cost to renew. Check out the website. It's a really cool website. I'm very happy with it. That's a car that I crashed in Sweden. I just fucking plowed that bitch straight into the snow. That was brilliant. I thought that was a fitting picture for near quitting to consistent wins. And you're getting weekly lives. Intimate chart breakdowns, trade setup discussions, in-depth Q&A sessions. You already know the deal. Same things you get on these live streams, but we're going early access. You're not even going to pay to renew until early access is over. So check it out if you are interested. It's only $100. $100 to get inside. And while it's still intimate, you get a lot. I get to spend a lot of time with each person, so that's exciting. We've already posted a couple of VIP videos. One VIP video, a couple pieces of analysis, and so on. Let's bring it back to the charts here. So, if we are looking to kind of regain that parity with the S&P 500, and if the S&P 500 is indeed playing that game, which, by the way, we're going to know in ES1 futures, we're going to know in 2 hours, 45 minutes. We're going to know about that. So, because the futures will reopen. But it looks like Bitcoin's kind of doing what it's supposed to do here and just kind of catching up here on the weekend. So if it does stick around, this is really leading us toward that 117k level. Now, to go back to the very first question I started answering on this stream, which is what do I think is going to happen above 117k? Let's take a look at it on the 4 hour. Okay, if we zoom out, what does this level say? So 117, pretty good support, pretty good resistance, we get the deal. Last time when we initially had that kind of reaction rally, we couldn't get above 117. We had to come and deviate below, grab a lot of liquidity. We grabbed the liquidity twice. Because when that leverage flush out happened here on this wick, people started going leverage again up here. So they had to get stopped out, you know? That's how it goes, man, in crypto. That's how it goes. We don't like to learn our lessons easily in crypto. And if we do end up getting that breakout now, which I think looks pretty likely, again, even if we do end up first, you know, taking a kind of slightly scenic route to do it, then that's going to put us over here. And this could be where we get rejected, but we now have support down here, so we could totally just kind of do this for a little bit. I don't really know how that's going to go. It might be a little bit uglier than that. You know, we might get a quick little flash crash wick like that, and then come back up. So, you know, that's the path that you know, things could look like when we get to 117. If we do get there, nothing is guaranteed, of course. But if we get above it, like I said before, I didn't really think 120 was going to be a problem. I still don't think 120 is going to be a problem. So I think we'll probably blast straight through those levels. I don't think all-time highs will be a problem. I've said that every single time. I've been wrong every single time. I have been wrong about that every single time. But I still don't think any of the all-time highs are going to be a problem. I don't think we're going to top, like, you know, the way I think a lot of people are expecting, rightfully, which is that we do something like this. I just think that every time Bitcoin does that, it becomes increasingly less likely that Bitcoin's going to do that again, right? That's just how I feel about it. I don't know if that's right or wrong. Clearly, it's actually more wrong than right, because I've been saying it for a long fucking time. But I think it's a reasonable take, right? I mean, essentially, we've been consolidating sideways for a long time. And, you know, you are going to get a breakout eventually, right? It was kind of like this. This was a downward sloping line instead of just a normal kind of, I I put on so much weight? I don't think so, bro. Not that much, really. I mean, quite a bit, yeah, but not that much. But this was kind of our resistance level. It was a diagonal level, you know, and it was the same thing here. We had our, I mean, this is just a standard resistance level. You know, we weren't really inching higher, you know, and faking out constantly. But, yeah, as soon as we get that breakout, you might get a back test. If you're really lucky, you might get a back test because that's going to be a really nice opportunity to buy back in or buy more. So that's absolutely fantastic. But, you know, you don't always get back tests, and really, I don't really know if we're going to get a back test here. I don't know. I just feel like, the market's too bullish, frankly. I feel like the market is being suppressed. I said this to you guys very, very clearly, I could say, a lot, back when gold didn't break out, right? So if you guys have been watching me for a while, let me know in the live chat if you remember me saying that. I really want to know how many of you guys were around back then and around right now. But with gold, years ago, I was constantly talking about how gold looks like it's being suppressed right now. And it's kind of what Bitcoin's doing as well. It's the same thing that happens every time a coin is being suppressed at all-time highs. But gold was stuck here at its all-time highs for 4 years. And 4 years, it should have been breaking out because of all of the inflation and the COVID, you know, crazy shit going on. Lord Armin 2085 says, yeah, I remember agreeing with you about gold. Hell yeah, dude. I paid attention around the same time you started talking about it. Yup. Because it's kind of obvious, right? Like, when you hear me talking about it, you can fully understand where I'm coming from. So close to 100 likes, by the way. Smash them up, ladies and gents. Thank you all very much. You know, when you guys can kind of see it, you know, like, it just instantly makes sense. Because, I mean, of course, gold should have been going up. And it just wasn't. And people were getting kind of sick of gold. I don't know if you guys remember the kind of, like, negative sentiment that Ethereum had earlier this year before Ethereum really started kind of pumping. That negative sentiment was also present with gold. And, of course, gold did end up getting the breakout. And it is exactly as I warned you guys it would go. I told you guys very, very clearly that once gold does break out, because it's consolidated, suppressed for so long, it will have an explosive rally. I did not see it hitting 4K. I will admit, my top target was 3.5K, but that is where I started to say, look, I don't really feel comfortable defining ranges above 3.5K, but because the market might be so irrationally exuberant, it might end up going significantly further, but the real level would be 3.5. Okay, and I think the market kind of agreed with that, because at about 3.4, 3.5 right here, this all-time high, gold did have its main consolidation after the breakout. So I think gold kind of got it too, you know? It was like, yeah, Sammy makes sense, you know? We'll do what Sammy said, you know what I'm saying? That's obviously not what happened at all, but it feels like it. And now we're essentially seeing, I mean, quite a violent top here for gold. I mean, considering that it is gold, right? What is this? From high to low. That's an 8% move down in less, you know, in a day, really, in 24 hours. So that's quite heavy for, you know, a commodity like gold, especially in terms of market cap. I mean, you look at this shit in terms of market cap, and it's kind of crazy. It's $28.7 trillion. You know what I'm saying? So a 10% drop is already a $2.8 trillion drop in market cap. So it's actually pretty heavy. But it was the same thing that happened to gold. Gold was completely suppressed for years. Literal years. And because of that, it had a very violent reaction when that suppression ended. And I just feel, again, that we're looking at the same thing right now. It feels so obvious. It's actually more obvious than the technicals show me when I look at what retail traders are saying. And when I look at the depression in retail. All retail has to do, please understand, all retail has to do is distribute their bags a little bit into the hands of people slightly more patient than them. And the markets would fly. They would absolutely fly. Oh, someone's gonna meme that, aren't they? That's like the, I just did the Elon salute, didn't I? Fuck's sakes. Fuck's sakes. I'm getting cancelled, ladies and gents. That's the end. That's the end. Sign up to the mailing list or something, innit? You know, so you don't... On a serious note, because the leftists are a little bit fucking crazy, get inside of 4Flies Gold. This is the Telegram channel that you'll be able to find our content on if I do get Russian ban-hammered right here. If I do get cancelled for doing the Elon salute. CT has been unbelievably bearish. Yeah, I know, right? It really has. It really has been very, very bearish. And again, like, that's happening all at all-time highs. So to me, it just looks like a typical situation of, you know, Bitcoin wearing people out and having them distribute their bags into the holders of better traders and better investors. So that's distribute. What am I saying? Let me try and say this more clearly. Well, with the price being so high and retail being so depressed, like really super fucking depressed, it just seems like standard wealth distribution before a move up. Okay? Because before a lot of these moves up, what these moves strive to do, and you've been a victim of it, I've been a victim of it. You know, what these moves serve to do is that during these periods where the market's kind of fucking around, 7 months trending downwards a little bit, you've got a really nice opportunity here to scare retail bag holders out of their positions. And if you can scare them out of their positions, who do you think is buying? I mean, you can see what the price action did, right? From the breakout point to the absolute all-time high, Bitcoin is still up by 85%. And that's inside of basically 1 year now. That's been nearly 1 year since the breakout. So, you know, I think we've got an incredible situation here, ladies and gents, where, you know, if you've got people selling their bags, essentially to, I would call them, you know, institutions, whales, whatever you want to, you know, just the smart people with big money, selling their bags off to those people. And, I mean, we've got even worse sentiment now, man. I think now might be worse than 60, 70K. I don't really know. Honestly, they're quite similar. But this is pretty bad. This is pretty bad. Let's get the DGen cam running on the right-hand side of the screen here again. What's up, ladies and gents? Welcome to another live stream here. You already know the deal. Grounded analysis. You're going to feel calm. You're going to feel like you understand the market. That's what we're going for. All right, we're back. CT is super bullish. This is the best value shorts right now. CT is stupid bullish. I don't know if we're looking at the right CT, bro. At the same CT. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, this is a massive bull flag, dude. This is a very, very nice bull flag. I can't say massive. It's 7 hours. But, you know, compared to how quickly we ran up, we've been consolidating for a very healthy amount of time. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we ended up breaking out in the next few hours. I wouldn't be surprised. But, I mean, equally, dude, honestly, I mean, it's so hard to say this thing could run for... I mean, this thing could range sideways for a day or two. You know, but with the S&P 500 opening up tomorrow, I just think if there are good headlines tomorrow, it kind of seems like we're in a little bit of a rhythm of good headlines over the last couple of weeks, we could be seeing some really nice gains here. And by the way, I am set up to trade stocks, finally. It took me a very long time. But because of that, we are going to be analyzing stocks here. Do we want that? Can I run a poll for that right now? You guys want to see stocks analysis? Like real... Let me type this out. Do you want stocks analysis? Regularly. Because I would do it regularly if I start. If I start, I wouldn't stop. I would probably, in fact, if I started, I might end up doing stocks more than crypto because crypto's fucking AIDS, dude, these days. It's so terrible. So I might just go for something like, you know, and you know me, I'm a tech guy in it, so I'm a big Tesla fan. As soon as Monday open comes, ladies and gents, I am buying Tesla stock. And I am so excited for it. It'll be my second time ever owning Tesla stock. The first time the exchange shut me down because they're corrupt bastards. Because I made too much money and they didn't expect it. How could you not expect it? You had Mr. Loyal coming onto your trading platform, sir. But they didn't like it. Bless them. That was my, like, kicked out of the casino story. Thankfully, that's only happened to me once. I don't think crypto exchanges would do that these days. Their reputation would die. But, Tesla, I think, looks fantastic. Let's see what this poll is saying. Let's see if everyone can get some votes in here. I mean, you know, we got 250 people. Let's see if we can get, like, you know, 50, 100 votes. At least 100 votes be nice. James wants to see real stocks. Yeah, man. I think stocks are pretty interesting. I think it's fun because it's less, like, torturous, you know, than crypto. How about precious metals? Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Let's look at silver. I would love to look at precious metals too. I want to do all of it, mate. I want to do all of it. It's literally coinciding with gold, isn't it? What was this drop? Gold's was like 8 point something. This was 13%. So very much on brand for silver. Very hard to say, right? I mean, you kind of just need moving averages to try and find support on a chart like this, because these are all-time highs as well, right? Oh no, well, sort of. We've only just... Okay. Okay, so you got a little bit of support on silver down to... I mean, honestly, I like this support at like $33, $34, you know? But that's going to be a pretty big drop for gold. That might put gold at like 3,800 or something, you know? I don't really know. I just hate the custody situation of playing with stocks. Yeah, I get it. It's not crypto, is it? It's not, and that's why I'm gonna, you know, even if I look at stocks more, I'm still probably gonna have more holdings in crypto. Just because I don't really want. I don't know. I like the sovereignty, you know, of crypto. I started out here, you know, so. What are my thoughts on MicroStrategy? I mean, you know, MicroStrategy is always just going to do what Bitcoin does, right? It's very much a secondary market in that sense. But, yeah, I mean, it looks like it's running pretty well. This was beginning of 2024. Let's see what it managed to do. To current price, 500% to all-time high, 1,000. Fuck me, that is impressive. That is impressive. All right, let's zoom in a little bit. This is... Where's 2025? There's the lows of 2025 from the tariff drama up to the current price, up by 24. So that high up by 100. Yeah, it looks like... Really, you want to try and get your buys in, basically between 230 and 270. And probably most of those buys are going to happen between 250 and 270 because we might not... drop as low as this low right here. We might bottom something like that. That's kind of what I'd be expecting a little bit more. I just think it's more likely than completely going sideways. But, I mean, this is something we'll just keep on watching, and I'll just put an alert down so I can be aware of that as the market continues to develop. I mean, we're only going to see this shit move tomorrow in it, so we'll cross that when it comes. But that's MicroStrategy. Let's see what our poll is saying. So we got 65 votes and 65% of people saying yes, do stocks, but 36 saying no. So, well, I think everyone's going to be happy then, because, you know, I mean, realistically, I'll probably end up, you know, focusing more on crypto anyway, but, you know, when crypto's not doing anything, I'd rather still be here, you know what I'm saying? And that doesn't mean, you know, shops closed for stocks, right? We can still totally trade stocks anyway. So while crypto's being... It's a toppy and frothy market. I mean... Like this? You mean like this? What was this drop? This looks pretty nasty. Yeah, fuck me, 85%. My god, that is a volatile stock, isn't it? Someone said, let's look at NVIDIA. I'm on board with that. I would love to look at NVIDIA. Oh, I can't wait to get inside these things with you guys, ladies and gents. I've been watching you guys trade stocks all these years. I felt like Squidward watching from the window while SpongeBob and Patrick are just running, having fun. I felt that FOMO. But NVIDIA, yeah, seems to have really made good use of this kind of support zone that I had outlined. And it's now continuing its run up. So that's pretty cool. 80-20, 80% focus on crypto, 20% focus on stocks. Well, I hope it works out that way, because that would mean we got more to talk about with crypto, you know? But have I seen palladium? No, I haven't. What is palladium? It's a metal, but I'm guessing it's a metal. I'm sure it's a metal. It sounds like a metal. But let's see this on the weekly here. Is it just like the time for people to be like betting on all sorts of like speculative metals right now? But Palladium's got to deal with $1,900 resistance. That's not nice. I think that's going to be a problem. And yeah, it's also going to have to deal with I mean, lots more above that. I don't really love the look of Palladium, to be honest with you guys. I don't think it's terrible, but I don't know. It could be good. It could be good. It looks like a Litecoin to me a little bit, you know? But playing options on stocks makes the most sense to me. You can get leverage on a small amount of dollar custodied with them. Let's take a look at Bitcoin quickly. So we did see that rejection coming in. This was probably oh, I think we started streaming like around here. So yeah, because we've been live now for 40 minutes. So this is where we started, yeah, roughly. And Bitcoin did just get rejected off the top of this range here. It then traveled nearly to the bottom, already mounted another attack higher, and now pulling back again. So this is a pretty active market. We're seeing developments happen here quickly. But of course, none of these developments really matter unless we get either here or here. But outside of those two circles, it doesn't really matter what Bitcoin does. But we will continue, of course, to keep an eye on it. I don't want to look through like every single stock or metal right now. So I'm going to keep this a little bit more crypto focused. Let's go over to Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance is looking interesting. We are on the weekly, and it's showing a very clear kind of slow upward trend. On that note, actually, we will look at the weekly because the weekly candle closes in 4 hours. But yeah, 59.7 right here. A little bit of a trend down. Definitely indicating that it's just still holding this posture. And if anything, it kind of still wants to break. And I think it could if Bitcoin starts flying. I really think that Bitcoin could soak up some dominance once again. That wouldn't concern me, though, because, you know, that would just indicate to me that we've got a... I mean... I think altcoins will hold their value. You know, like it means that we just got to hold on a little bit. You know, like against Bitcoin, they'd probably lose if Bitcoin does start skyrocketing, but I think they would probably gain a little bit against the dollar as well. Brian says, I reckon we got one more shakeout. Might be tomorrow. What are your thoughts? I mean, based on what, Brian? You know, like what makes you say that? By the way, ladies and gents, smash up those likes. Let's see if we can get this thing up to 150. Thank you all for tuning in with us today on this Sunday, approaching the daily close, the weekly close. This is the last weekly close of October. So thanks for joining us here today. Smash them up. Let's get this thing above to 150 likes. Brian says we should have one more shakeout tomorrow, maybe. What are my thoughts? Yeah, so Brian, I want to know why you think that. But, you know, to answer your question, I don't really see another shakeout. Because the thing is, what I see is everybody always says there's going to be one more fake out. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone always says, or like shakeout. Everyone always says there's going to be one more of those. So, you know, I don't really get that feeling anymore. I think, you know, a lot of these things you can see them coming. Essentially, you know, if you hit resistance levels, you might get a rejection, and then people will call that a shakeout. But, you know, I don't think that our resistance right now is particularly strong. And we've actually shown you guys earlier on in this stream why it was so important, you know, what Bitcoin did manage to do here. You know, talking about how previously on these wicks here, Bitcoin couldn't even get above the level, 113.6. On this occasion here, Bitcoin managed to spend an hour above this level. And on this occasion here, we're still above this level, and it's been 7 hours. So it's that kind of picture of an escalation of strength here in this market, where at the beginning there was hardly any. Later on there was a little bit, but it got punished pretty badly with a, you know, pretty steep drop as well, 6%. But now this time it's been a much slower controlled move up, and we're holding steady above this level. I mean, this is a clear escalation from the bulls. It's building. It's a building kind of charge attack here. So I think that actually, you know, means a lot, you know, for Bitcoin right now. I think that puts Bitcoin in a very strong place to, you know, it doesn't have to, obviously. There are no guarantees here, but I mean, it's definitely gearing in that direction. So I do think that that's worth keeping in mind. Shout out to Mike in the live chat. Brian says, just a feeling. I know it's not. We trade on feeling. Also, for the 4-hour 200 moving average might reject. Let's take a look at that. 4-hour 200 moving average. Bear with. All right. This is the 4-hour 200 moving average. It is a pretty useful moving average, has been historically. It seems a lot less useful in this bull market, but it's still pretty damn good. Look at these rejections here. This is pretty decent. I think if you look at it when it's really trending, it's a lot more useful. I think it's lost a lot of its trend right now. It's a little bit more of a flat line, but it is still clearly offering a little bit of resistance. It looks like it is curving up, which is interesting. If it's curving up, that's going to be an indication that some of that resistance is getting ready to break. But yeah, no, we're definitely not fully there yet. We're definitely not fully there, but that's a good indicator to be looking at, yeah. Thanks for your thought, brother. Love the analysis and channel. Hell yeah, dude. You're very, very welcome, sir. You're very, very welcome. We're close to 150 likes, ladies and gents. Smash them up if you haven't done so already. Thank you all very much. If you do find these live streams entertaining, useful, whatever the deal may be, thank you all for the support. Really do appreciate it. Apologies for that. Love from India. What's up, Jahir? Welcome to the stream. Ethereum view. We'll take a look at Ethereum right here. So, start with Ethereum against the dollar. I mean, against Bitcoin. A little bit of a move up here. Really nothing going on, though. Look at that 4-hour 200 moving average, ladies and gents. Look at that. I mean, this is definitely something that's tradable. You just need to know when to not use it. Which is harder to do than it is to say. But, I mean, it's clearly telling a story here for Ethereum against Bitcoin. And Ethereum against the dollar. Zooming out. Take this thing onto the daily. Close the watch list. Oh, man, this is a messy chart. Do you know what, ladies and gents? I think it's time. I think it's time. I'm removing everything. All right. That feels good, doesn't it? That feels good. All right. Well, we'll look at this on the weekly. And probably on the logarithmic. All right, let's see what we got. Yeah, I like this. I like this chart a lot. Yup. Because look at that resistance right here from May 2021, from August 2021. Look at the consolidation here. November to December. Look at the rejections here. February 24, May 24, December 24. Another one right here in July. And then, bam, breakout. How big was this breakout? About 20%. 20% breakout. That's not bad. That is not bad. And from high to low, correction of 28%. Okay. Okay. I see. I see. It's not bad. It's not bad. Let's look at this on the daily. All right, on the daily, we're fighting resistance again. So that's not ideal. That's going to get better if Bitcoin breaks out. I do think so. I think if Bitcoin starts breaking out from here, this will get better. Those of you wondering why I'm moving, I'm on a treadmill. I'm getting my steps in. What are we at? I've done 2 kilometers so far. Hey, that's not bad. I've done 2 kilometers. 47 minutes. All right. Hey, that's not bad. That's 3 steps, fam. That's like making free money. That's amazing. Yeah, 4,000. Every single one of you should get a walking treadmill. You want to burn a little bit of fat. This shit is crazy. You don't even remember that you're walking. It takes every problem out. Do your emails. Do whatever you need to do. Manage your dog's subscriptions. Your dog's Netflix. Your dog's food. Whatever it is. But get a walking pad, ladies and gents. It will change your life. The best $300 to $400 you could spend. I swear. It is. It is. You'll be like, why is this fat just melting off? It doesn't even make sense. All right. 4,066 here for Ethereum. It's battling this resistance level. I really want to see, for Ethereum's sake, I want to see a breakout with a back test. We did that here, right? We got that breakout, immediately back tested it and set a slightly higher high, which is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So I'd be happy to see that again here, some sort of kind of back test. That results in a pretty nice kind of leap forward here for Ethereum. I would definitely think that that's going to be an interesting kind of development here for Ethereum. What's up, ladies and gents? So close to 150. Thank you all very, very much. Just trying to see if I've missed any comments or questions here. Let me know if you do have any questions, chart suggestions, and so on. Happy to go through them here, ladies and gents. But yeah, a little bit of a resistance problem here for Ethereum, but I don't think it's anything crazy. I think it's a similar position to Bitcoin, but I think Ethereum's chart is even cleaner. I think if Ethereum can get above these levels with conviction, then it's, you know, it's really just GG. I think Bitcoin has a tiny bit more that it needs to deal with, but I mean that was to be expected, right? So that's not too surprising. Yup. And clear resistance right now, so breakout to 117. Next resistance at 120, but I don't think it'll be a problem. Next resistance at 125, but I don't think that'll be a problem either. What do I think for the bull? When do I think the bull market will end? I don't really know, dude. I don't really... Yo, I gotta ask you guys, the Indians in the live chat, what is it about you that, like, always makes you say, hi, sir, I'm from India? What is that? Why? Like, nobody ever does that from other countries. All right, back to your question, sir. 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗡𝗙. You Dutch? You're something from that part of Europe, right? What do you think when do I think the bull market will end? Look, so I got big ideas on the bull market end. I think that, you know, we have a pretty likely scenario to see a 6-7 month style kind of bear market. Oh, I got it right, Dutch. 6-7 month kind of bear market. And you're going to... Okay, I will slow down. You mean my speech, right? I'll slow down my speech. That bear market might result in, you know, a total drop of 30 to 40% across a 6-7 month time frame. But I do have to say that that is very typical for Bitcoin, and Bitcoin already did that here. This one lasted 8 months to get above resistance. And this one lasted 7 months to get above resistance. And it was the same thing here as well. So that's what I think we could do as a kind of worst case scenario for kind of early next year. I definitely think that toward the end of this year, we could be seeing some pretty nice pumps, especially kind of, you know, November, December. I mean, I think we're already looking pretty decent, you know? I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, we're still kind of just going sideways, but I don't think it looks too bad. So I think for sure we could be seeing some sort of rally toward the end of this year, last couple of months here, November and December. But, you know, early 2026, I could totally see, you know, a kind of pullback that lasts quite a while. And kind of run it that way. Hey, bro, we're not really doing, like, super chat. I don't even know why super chats are on. We're not really doing, like, super chat suggestions, but, I mean, I'll do it anyway, since you took the initiative. 𝐂𝐀𝐿𝐴. 𝐂𝐀𝐿𝐴. What is this, man? Some sort of fucking massive shitcoin, right? Look at this one. I mean, to be fair, it looks pretty good, bro, because you got, you know, essentially it's bottomed out at a slightly higher level than previously, so, you know, I mean, if you believe in this coin, this is a good, you know, this is a good chart. I mean, it depends what kind of upside you see. I mean, if you just kind of hit resistance up here, that's a 44% move. I don't really like that because this sounds like a major shitcoin. So 44% is not enough payment for, you know, taking any position size here. But if it does start kind of returning to all-time highs, that is a 6 times gain. So that is actually pretty good. Yeah, I do like that. What do I think the top could be for Ethereum? I really don't know, dude, because, you know, it's going to depend on... There's a thing that a lot of people don't understand. I am walking on a treadmill. What a lot of people don't understand is that coins like Ethereum and so on, Bitcoin, all of them really, they can literally 2x for every additional week that the bull market stays running. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, I mean, at this stage, a 2x is kind of crazy, but, you know, they could definitely, like, plus 20, plus 30%, you know, if the bull market just runs for an additional week at the end. You know, and that completely throws off any prediction, because if I come in here and say 10K, you know, and then Ethereum runs for 2 weeks longer than it seems like it should have, I mean, that can already put Ethereum at, like, you know, 16.5 or whatever, you know, which is a totally different price level. So I just think that's worth keeping in mind, because what it basically means is that absolutely none of you, including me, have any real chance at getting the all-time high prediction correct on any of these coins. You know, we're really as shit as the next guy. We got thoughts on Dash. I like Dash because I've been around in crypto since 2017, and this is a privacy coin. So it's got a very nice reputation with people like me who've been around for a little bit. And it is in a pretty spectacular chart, but this is not it. Is it the Bitcoin chart I'm looking at? Because that was definitely not the spectacular chart I was talking about. My God, it's not Bitcoin either. Have I got this wrong? Oh, no, I was looking at XMR. My bad. I was looking at XMR. XMR is another one. And it is also a privacy coin. It's Monero. Monero, I think, ended up kind of being the champion of the last bull market here. I want to look at Monero right now. We'll look at Dash in a second. But Monero is another privacy coin. Obviously, it ran up after the pump that Zcash had. Take a look at that. Pretty nice, big pump here, taking it back toward the highs. I mean, within a month, that was already a 7-8 times gain, which is kind of crazy. So that was a really big move coming in from Monero. I'm sorry, from Zcash. And then Monero here is looking poised for that kind of breakout as well. So this is kind of that shifting meta again of, you know, interest in crypto potentially shifting to different sectors and capital kind of gearing up in that direction as well. It definitely looks like, you know, this is, I mean, this looks organic, but it looks organic to the point where it was painted. Only people who are really like insiders in the industry will get what I'm saying there. But if I try and translate it, basically what I mean is it looks so clean that it looks fake. That's basically what I'm saying. But, you know, that doesn't scare me. You know, that just means that a pump might be getting engineered here. So, you know, my job then would be to just kind of jump in wherever I can. So I definitely like the look of this. I think this is pretty legit. There's actually a lot more to this, and I've covered it already inside of BroFi. So for those of you that haven't seen it yet, check out this link in the description. It is $100 to join. Those prices will be going up. Watch this video and get inside. You get early access right now, and it's still intimate. It's still a small group. So you're going to have a lot of direct access to me until, you know, the group really starts growing, which I'm really, really excited for. This is the best offer I've ever put together. And you're getting intimate chart breakdowns, future trade setup discussions. I've already started talking about my trade setups inside of that group. In-depth Q&A. We got a group chat, so that's that's already live. So get yourself inside if you think you might be interested here. You are getting a price lock. It's actually not for life. It's for 1 year. I got to change that. We might do it for life. We'll see. But yeah, definitely worth getting. And then upcoming, we've got the course, which is really cool. There's already a little bit of the course live, and we're going to continue to roll out updates to that over the next days and weeks. So look out for that. There is a lot coming in. I've got a really cool strategy coming in for you guys as well, which I'm really, really excited to show you guys. So that's going to be available to members of the group as well. So get inside. It's $100. And I'll see you on the other side. Right now, like I said, we get to kind of speak a little bit more. So that's that first link in the description here. Well, really, it's the second link. Enter.brofi.com. You already know the deal. BroFi. Isn't that the best name ever? Isn't that the best name ever? BroFi? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I like it. Yup. So let's take a quick look at Bloomberg. I want to take a quick look at Bloomberg here and see what we've got. All right, U.S.-China tee-up sweeping trade deal for Trump Xi to finish. Hey, that's interesting. That's potentially going to be good for us for next week. All right, let's take a read through this. So this was top trade negotiators for the U.S. and China said they came to terms on a range of contentious points, setting the table for leaders Donald Trump and Xi Jinping to finalize a deal and ease trade tensions that have rattled global markets. All right, they're trying to put together a narrative here where these things are starting to come together, so that's cool. That's cool. After 2 days of talks in Malaysia wrapped up Sunday. Okay, so Trump's been there for 2 days now, huh? A Chinese official said the two sides reached a preliminary consensus on topics including export controls, fentanyl, and shipping levies. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, speaking later in an interview with CBS News, said Trump's threat of 100% tariffs on Chinese goods is effectively off the table, and he expected the Asian nation to make substantial soybean purchases as well as offer a deferral on sweeping rare earth controls. Okay, so yet again, if this is true, and it hasn't played out yet, all right, we still need to wait a couple of days, but if this is true, then yet again, ladies and gents, the based takes that I've been giving you on these live streams about how Trump is literally just scaring people to negotiate, which is pretty fucking standard, by the way. Any of you who've been in high-stakes negotiations will understand how this works. You'll really do anything you can to get the deal, especially if you're Donald J. Trump. And he works by just scaring the shit out of everybody and then bending their fucking arms behind them and pushing them into submission. And honestly, GG for you if you're an American. That's what you want. I mean, look, things aren't perfect. Things are not perfect right now. But, you know, that's still pretty good. That's still pretty good. We just got a really interesting question in the BroFi live chat. I think I'm going to try and answer that here on stream. Those of you that are watching from inside, if you do have kind of detailed things or whatever you want me to look at on stream, I'm happy to do that. We'll obviously do that on the private streams too, but I am happy to do that. But for now, let's continue going through this. So, all right. So I wouldn't expect that the threat of the 100% has gone away, so I would expect that the threat has gone away, as has the threat of the immediate imposition of the Chinese initiating a worldwide export control regime. I don't really fully understand what these guys are saying. They just talk in fucking words, don't they? He separately told ABC News he believed China would delay its rare earth restrictions for a year while they re-examine it. Bessent telegraphed a wide-ranging agreement between Trump and Xi that would extend a tariff truce, resolve differences over the sale of TikTok, and keep up the flow of rare earth magnets necessary for the production of advanced products from semiconductors to jet engines. The two leaders are also planning to discuss a global peace plan, he said, after Trump said publicly he hoped to enlist Xi's help in resolving Russia's war in Ukraine. The encouraging signals from both sides of the negotiations were a marked contrast from the recent weeks where Beijing's announcement of new export restrictions and Trump's reciprocal threat of staggering new tariffs threatened to plunge the world's two largest economies back into an all-out trade war. Look at how dramatic these university journalist plebs are. They have no fucking clue how the world works, don't they? They're just absolutely clueless. They're so dramatic. What do you mean, fam? Trump likes to bang on his chest and shout a little bit, and so does China. You got two alpha males in the room. It's going to be a little bit of head bashing. It's all part of the game, really. It's not a big deal. It's just men being men, isn't it, really? I don't know why this is like the most scary thing for people to read about. Signs of an impending deal lifted sentiment in market. And this is what I'm saying. If you're that sensitive to these things in the market, you know, these things were obvious a week ago when I was telling you about them, just as it was obvious 6 months ago when I was telling you about them from Trump's tariffs earlier this year. It was the same thing I said in both situations, ladies and gents, and my goodness, people were selling down at those lows. Really? That's not ideal, is it? Risk-sensitive currencies like the Australian and New Zealand dollars climbed against the greenback in early trading, outperforming major peers, while havens including the Swiss franc and Japanese yen edged lower. Bitcoin rose a fourth day. It's crazy, isn't it? They just talk about Bitcoin with all these currencies. Staving off China's rare earth restrictions is one of the major objectives of these talks, and I think we're progressing toward that goal very well. Trump himself predicted a good deal with China as he spoke with reporters on the sidelines of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations Summit in Kuala Lumpur, saying he expected additional leader-level follow-up meetings in China. Hey, I want to go to Malaysia. How many of you guys have been to Malaysia? It looks like a pretty cool place. I've been to Singapore. I was gonna cross the border into Malaysia, but I was too busy. They want to make a deal, and we want to make a deal. There you go. Of course, they all want to make a deal. What is it with this like mass hysteria? Oh my God, Trump is killing the economy, or even demonizing China in that sense too? No. They all want to work together. Still, markets will be closely watching the details of the ultimate agreement after nearly a year of head-spinning changes to trade and tariff policies between the US and China. Chinese trade envoy indicated his belief that the sides had reached consensus on fentanyl, suggesting the US might lift or reduce a 20% tariff it would impose to pressure Beijing to halt the flow of precursor chemicals used to make the deadly drug. He said the nations would also address the actions the Trump administration took to impose port service fees on Chinese vessels, which prompted Beijing to put retaliatory levies on US-owned, operated, built, or flagged vessels. This, like I said, you got two alpha males banging their chests, pretending to be angry. That's all it really is. That's all it really is. You know, US and China want to work together. I don't even think there's going to be a war between the two countries. I really don't. Nobody wants it. Who's even going to fight? You know what I'm saying? Like, there will be cyber war. There will be, like, crazy shit like that. But physical boots on the ground and, like, missiles and shit? Nah, I don't think so. I hope not. All right. Lee, whom Besant called unhinged earlier this month, described the talks as intense and the US position as tough, but hailed progress in the discussions. Both sides will now report the outcome back to their leaders ahead of a planned summit between Trump and Xi on Thursday. Wow, that's like 5 days away. The current turbulences and twists and turns are ones that we do not wish to see, Lee told reporters, adding that a stable China-US trade and economic relationship is good for both countries. China imposed retaliatory tariffs. All right, this is just kind of reflecting on what happened earlier this year. I don't think we need to keep reading this. Trump's meeting with Xi this week will be their first face-to-face sit-down since his return to the White House. The U.S. leader has said direct talks are the best way to resolve issues, including tariffs, export curbs, agricultural purchases, fentanyl trafficking, and geopolitical flashpoints, such as Taiwan and Ukraine. All right. Hey, it's progress, right? I mean, it doesn't mean things are going to be perfect, but it's better than, you know, it's better than, you know, last week. So that's good. And yeah, I think XMR is looking pretty good for those reasons. You know, it's kind of got that rotation narrative that could be working for it. Let's look at Dash quickly. I need a different exchange for this. Look at crypto. All right. So, I mean, it's battling resistance right now. Really, it's got to get above this resistance by a fair margin to kind of be back in the game. But it looks like it might try. I'm sure it's a good one. Yeah. I mean, it's got a similar kind of pattern to Bitcoin right now. It's holding up in a similar way. See, last time it got up here and it just instantly fell down. This time it got up here and it's kind of hanging out a little bit. So it is doing better this time, which is also similar to Bitcoin, which could be a big sign of a breakout. So yeah, if you believe in this narrative and you believe in Dash, then this could be a really good one. Me personally, I feel like I got better holds, so I'm not going to be personally picking any of this up. I might still go for Monero, because I know Monero is kind of, you know, the winner of the bulls of the privacy coin kind of bull cycle from, you know, 2017 and whatnot, 2018. But, alright, ladies and gents, I think I'm going to be ending the stream here. Oh, actually, I did say I'm going to take that one question. So, this is from the BroFi VIP chat. Alright, I might have to, because there's no chart attached to this, so I'm going to have to try and work out what he's saying. But let me get the chart up first, so that I can help myself understand. Alright, 8 years of accumulation. I think he's saying what I said. Let me read this. Alright, I think Litecoin has a moonshot coming. Excellent volume, good narrative, agree. Silver to Bitcoin's gold, agree. 8 years of accumulation since 2017 peak, yes. And it's the final squeeze in my opinion and needs to make a decision. Just my opinion. Also, an identical fractal to the wave from 2013 to 17, but extended in time and size. But literally the exact same sub-wave count. I think it's time for Litecoin. Would love your feedback. Dude, I've been buying Litecoin. I'm building a position in it, and I completely agree with everything that you said. I don't know if you're watching this live right now. I'm assuming you are, but I'll put this message in the group chat as well. Maybe a clip of this. But, yeah, no, I fully agree with you. I think Litecoin looks fantastic. I think Litecoin is obvious money. And I've already kind of made this case by looking at the XRP chart zoomed out. This, to me, looks like the same as Litecoin's chart, right? Go back. This is Litecoin. Go forward. XRP. It's the same chart. So I definitely think that there is incredible potential for Litecoin here. And I would want to see price targets at least $500, at least. Which is a 4 times gain roughly. 5 times gain roughly from where it is right now. At least. I think it could get much better. I really want to see a little bit more confirmation though. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it would be nice to have a little bit more confirmation. It just still looks quite dead, and I don't like the idea of parking money up in it. But, I mean, that's investing really, isn't it? So, you know, that's why I've started building a position. I just haven't kind of gone too huge with it yet. Just for those reasons. Anime Short says, I started a short from 108k 3 days ago. I put extra money by loan, oh my god, to move liquidation. And now I'm $44 in loss. What do? I can't even cover loss if loan. Someone please help. What should I do? Exit, or is there a chance of a pullback? Fuck me. That's what I'm saying, man. You don't want to be that guy. I can't help you, dude. You're gambling. There's nothing to do. Brian says, stop loss, brother. There are always new opportunities. Absolutely. But he didn't have a stop loss either. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way to fix this now. You either wait and hopefully the market gives you some of your money back, or you cut the losses now because it might get worse, right? But who fucking knows? I mean, when you're in a trade like that, you can't really rely on normal analysis. You got your fucking balls clenched by the market. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not in a good position there. And I don't, you know, the only thing you can realistically do is not let that happen. I could literally sit here and bullshit you about, like, whoa. I could literally sit here and just bullshit you, you know, about what might end up happening, you know, like what you could end up doing to like resolve it. And I'm sure that some people would love to kind of say those things, but I've seen this a million times, and I've been here as well in your position a million times, and there is no way to fix it. You know, it's really just prevention for next time. Hopefully, you know, whatever your outcome is, whether you cut it here or not, you know, hopefully the hit doesn't hurt too bad. But I mean, you know, there's no recovering from that situation. I'm sure you could try and cope with it. I'm sure there is a way, but I mean, realistically, there's not. I'm just being nice. I've done this a million times. I need Jason Casper's treadmill settings. The thing is, it says EOS. It says EOS on my treadmill. And I don't know if that's because... Like, EOS means end of service, doesn't it? And I probably just got, like, China scammed or something, because that, to me, implies that it doesn't work anymore. But anyway, I'm done with the stream, so I'm going to leave it here, ladies and gents. Thank you all for tuning in. I am going to round it off here because I need to get going. But if we do see more volatility or whatever the case may be, you already know. We're going to be live. Covering that again with you guys. If we need to make a video, we'll make a video. If we need to be live, we'll be live. Same here also happened to me. Wishing you much love, brother, for you going through the pain. Hell yeah, dude. Thank you. Thank you. Sammy Royal. Thank you very much, Peter. Thank you very much, Peter. Thank you all very much for tuning in. I will stick around just for a minute. If we have anyone typing any last questions, I'll go through them. But otherwise, I will probably be heading off for this one. So thank you all very much for tuning in with me today. Alright, I think we will call it here. An hour and 10-minute stream. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. See you, bro. Appreciate it. Yeah, you're very welcome, sir. You're very welcome. Thank you very much. Alright, ladies and gents, take care. We'll see you all in the